Hi, this is Piero Manrique, artist, architect, entrepreneur, visionary. Today, I want to teach you how to paint a beautiful landscape. It's going to be a really fun design for today. You can do it after work or early in the morning if you have a second job, or you can just do it for a gift for a friend, or if you want to do it something, to put it in your apartment, your house, and this painting can be done in many different sizes. I decided to paint it on a small size. Again, my name is Piero Manrique. If you want to see more videos like this, just click the subscribe button down there, and let's just get right to it. All right, the first thing you gotta do is we're gonna paint the background. That's the first thing we gotta do. So, background. I love having very light blue colors. So I typically, what I do is I decide a point of light. You always have to decide a point of light. Where's the light coming from? In this case, I want the light to come from this point right here. So my darkest blue will be at these corners. So that's what I'm gonna start doing. So with my dark blue, I start picking up the colors towards the corner. Now, one thing that you gotta think about is I'm using a 1.5 brush. You can pick a smaller brush or even a bigger brush, a flat brush, but this is good for the backgrounds because it gives you the opportunity to fill up with a lot of paint. You don't wanna do it with a small little brush, it just doesn't make sense. But as you see here, I'm filling up the background. Now, one thing that I'm doing is I'm curving it, right? I'm doing this curvature motion towards the area that my light is coming from. That is very important because what I'm doing is I'm creating this sort of sun. But if you always notice, light closest to anything is sort of duller and whiter, right? So you can start seeing here that I'm making this lighter. And in this case, I'm using my finger. Sometimes playing with your fingers in here, actually with color helps. See how it softened that really dark blue? And then what you do is you start mixing it, right? Expand on that. Here we go. I may actually hold this a little bit because it's moving a little bit, but that's part of the process. There we go. So you start seeing the difference, right? You start putting more white towards the center. You don't put that much white towards the outside. And you start getting this sort of mist. Now, you have this circle in the middle here, right? So that circle in the middle eventually, once you're done mixing it, because really what you gotta do is, the first thing you gotta do is mix it, right? Make that a really nice shade. And you want to go from really light to really dark, right? So you start doing this. Now it looks to me like I'm running out of my blues, but no problem. We got a lot more. So let's keep going. All right, so if you start seeing here, there's some areas that are white. What I want to do is just want to keep pouring more paint until that white disappears, right? So that white is basically the canvas fabric on the back. So yeah, you want that to disappear. You want to finish this up here with a little white and a little blue. Just mix it, right? Start mixing it. And the things that I like about the acrylics is that they dry quickly. They dry quickly, so that helps you because once it dries quickly, you can put a color on top of it and you don't have to play around with other colors. And mix it. So what I want to do right now is focus on my light. So this is the light, right? So with your finger, just put a little bit of a white color and start blending it. That's it. Now, so that was 1 second blend. This is the last one, I think, for the sun. So what I want to do is just put that in there. Boom. You have a sun, all of a sudden. Magic. Now, what you want to do is you want to start making clouds. So now that you are done with your big brush, let's go to your smaller brush, which is more like a round brush, like this one. And what you want to do is now you have a background, you start thinking about, okay, where are my clouds? This is too lonely, nobody's there, it's clear. So what you want to do is you start from the closest and then you make small little tops. And the tops could be random. If you see clouds are not like steady, they're always moving. They're always constantly, they're big, they're small, they're different colors. So that's the beauty of doing clouds, is that you do have this flexibility of different sizes. There's really nothing wrong with any clouds. One of the things to keep in mind though, if you notice here, I'm putting the lighter, most thick part of my clouds facing the sun. And the less one is where there's no more paint, and just blending it out. That gives the cloud the sensation of being transparent and floating. So that's a really nice, cool trick. So, and you want to do that throughout this painting, right? You just want to keep giving it different dimensions. Now, right now, I have a vision in my head. What does that mean? It means that I sort of have a design of what I'm going to do, and I just start playing with it. So painting, in many ways, is playing with imagination. You don't have to really figure everything out before you paint. You just can't. When you paint, you just have to play. See, that's what the reason why I like painting, because it gives you the freedom to make choices on the fly, on a canvas. And yeah, there's no mistakes. There's really no mistakes. I mean, if a cloud is not where you want it to be, or something you want it to be, you can always paint over it, make a difference. But that's the beauty of it. You start playing with it, you start creating. Why a cloud cannot be all the way down here, and also that the part of being an artist is that you definitely let go of reality. That's the biggest thing about painting. It's just, you don't think about reality as much, you forget about it, you change your concept of reality, and you start exploring new, different worlds of, okay, how really this would look like in Mars, or some other part of the universe, or what if the law of physics changes, or things like that. So you start thinking about differently. For instance, right now I have this crazy idea. I just thought about it, and like, let's do some mountains, right? It's cool. Yeah, everybody's seen this. You see all these mountains coming now, and I'm using the same idea, but now I'm doing mountains, right? Doing mountains, they're really cool, right? They're like a little pointy, right? So with the same blue, I'm gonna create some shadows, right? But there's something telling me that this mountain, it's all of a sudden floating, right? So you see that? I just make a darker color, and you see the lighter, and then all of a sudden the mountain has this shadow. So the shadow means that it's floating, because things that float has a shadow, right? So this mountain already is floating on the sky. And that is the beautiful, powerful thing about painting. You just follow your gut, follow your feeling, And all right, this mountain is floating, which is pretty cool. You don't see that often, right? You don't see that. And then there's sort of a river, right? Look at that, you can see a river there. And yes, there's some sort of waterfall, right? It's just dropping, right? But what if it's falling into, I don't know, another earth, right? So there's another earth here that you're magically making it appear. The only thing that I did was just the outline of the earth, right? And then with the colors, you start making it sense of like clouds, right? You see the earth on the top, there's like light blues, and then you see all these clouds floating all around it. But then this waterfall is falling into this wonderful new earth that we're creating, right? But the clouds are there, all right? And you have this really nice curvature. But that's, I don't want to stop there. I think it needs something here. You have this dark thing, and if you know me by now, if you see my videos in YouTube, I love trees. I think trees are beautiful, but the thing that I love about trees is not that. That is, you know, the upper part. But here I'm making the trunk, right? This is a big trunk here with different little branches, really thick branches. But what I've been thinking about this is that what if these roots are sort of floating in the sky like this, and they're going into this beautiful, wonderful floating island. Now, in my world, or in the world that you want to create, there are no rules, right? We're bounded by so many rules in this society. It's crazy, right? This is the time that you get free. This is the time that you say, forget about this, forget about the rules, let's just imagine, right? So imagination, and all of a sudden I'm creating this huge, like very out-proportioned tree, which I think that's what a tree should be. And then the branches, maybe there are smaller trees, right? So I'm emphasizing this sort of shadowy. And here, with this little dark, I'm also giving a little more shadow to the earth down there. And a little shadow here, right? And maybe here, to give you the assumption that there is a universe somewhere here. So we'll put some stars there so you can start seeing that there is some sort of communication between things. And here we can start, you know, finishing up some more mountains, right? Finishing out the earth, there's sort of floating, right? And if you see here, I put the dark as the shadows, but then of course on top, I like snowy mountains. I think they're gorgeous. I think the contrast between white and the dark makes the mountain pop more. So that's what I like. I like making that in most of my paintings. You notice here that I don't blend as much. I typically use a lot of the actual colors from the, you know, from the tubes. I'm not such a blender, just when I need to. And that helps my style, my painting. It's very bold. You can see here there are a lot of eyes. It's very bright and colorful. And that's just my style. I love it. I mean, I love doing that. And also helps me see color better, because a lot of times it's hard when you blend things. You're like, okay, what color is this? It's like, okay, I just created some brand new shade or something, and I don't like that. I like to see my colors very clearly. And right now what I'm doing is I'm branching it out. So I'm basically expanding all these branches, but I'm doing it in such a way that I'm curling. You see, it's not straight. You go up and down, and then you go. And sometimes for those branches, I want to do something thinner. You want to use a smaller, thinner brush like this one. So what you do is you just with a thinner brush, I think it's a number, I think it's number 1 or 2. Yeah, I think it's a 1. Round brush, you can start doing this beautiful and wonderful branches. There we go. Exactly. Isn't that fun? Look at that. It's already happening. You can already see this beautiful magical place. This is your place. This is nobody else's place. This is not like anybody's place, but your place. So you can do whatever the hell you want to do. That's it. That's why you paint, right? Well, what else would you paint for? So now, all right, we need some color. You know, you have your blues, you got your light, your light blues, you got your sun, your everything. Now let's really have fun. Let's really start bringing things out in a little bit crazy mode here. And a lot of times what I do is I just play around. That's what really you do. So you got to think about getting out of your comfort zone, things that you've never seen before, right? So I'll start putting really bright colors on areas that in reality you don't see them, right? Such as the shadow of the mountain being really orangey reddish, like maybe you put some yellow in there, but I'm carefully putting it in such a way that it blends in with the colors around it. That's one part of it that you gotta understand, that you put the color and then you press it. As you press it, you're creating all these shades. Those shades give you depth. That's what you want. Now I'm putting dark here because I'm giving you the notion of trees, right? So this is a humongous tree, but maybe there's a bunch of trees here, right? A smaller size, of course. And maybe there is more beautiful bushes that are yellow, which are really beautiful, by the way. All right. So you start putting those colors in. You start introducing, you go up and down and get shapes of pine trees. And then you put some shadows in there. Let's finish all this white stuff here. See how beautiful that looks? Yeah, it looks like it's very icy, isn't it? Yeah. So that's sort of how you start. And then this tree here, you really want to start bringing it to life. Start putting these beautiful, wonderful yellows. And as you notice, I like to mix my colors up a lot. So if I pick up white here, it blends in here, so it sort of blends in with this whole thing, like this. Let's put some red in there. Yeah, red is really powerful. And I like reds also in the mountains. I think that's pretty cool. Why not in the roots, And why not just put in little leaves here, sort of like seeds, right, on the bottom of the mountain. They're falling off from these roots of the tree, right? So, and let's put some yellow in here, why not? Yellow and blues. So you're all of a sudden you have this beautiful, gorgeous painting. This is colorful, it's alive, it's vibrant. And you're doing it in such a way that it's not overpowering your piece, it's just giving it more volume. And again, the white is very critical and important here. See the white here? And you blend it. So you blend that, that's pretty cool. Let's go back to the white, and then let's put more white here. So you leave some shadows in between of the mountains. It gives you more depth. You just wanted to make it all white and flat. No, you want those shadows. You want those little blues there. So little by little, you gotta manage and learn how to properly do them so they don't disappear. It takes practice, but you can do it. And then here a little bit more of yellow. I think I need some red here. Really want this to be a little darker. Here we go, a little more dark here. I want it dark because I want that contrast. Right, and that's it. So by doing this dark, this white really pops and goes on the front really nicely. Here the same, you want more black here. And boom, what do you see? This beautiful mountain floating. Now I like to make some shadows here in the dark, right? See, one of the beautiful parts about painting is that you play with dark and you play with white, and if you don't do a shade, look how much it pops. So all of a sudden that thing is shiny. Boom. See, and it's behind the, so it's that light is hitting behind this beautiful mountain, and then you put it on the front, of course. And then you do, so you keep your darks, and you put it right on top of it. And because it's acrylic, it already dries, so you don't have to worry about blending because it's dry. And then you just start playing with all these little tweaks and ticks the roots have, which is so much fun. See that? So now you start really start seeing the painting come to life. And just do the same technique. So again, it's not a straight line. It's all this curlies, right? And you look for places where you think the light will hit dramatically, you know, and you follow that. I wanted to hit right here on the top really well. Yes, that's what I like. And then let's do a little bit more here. And again, you're just playing with it, doing the curls. That's it. And this is supposed to be fun. It's not perfect. It's relaxing. You know, you're not gonna get it the first time. You might have to do it a few times. Eventually, it's just second nature. Like anything, you have to practice, and it's a lot of repetition. It's just, you know, you're not gonna get it the first time, trust me. I didn't get it the first time. Nobody gets it the first time. But if you do it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, all of a sudden, you know, after doing it 100 times, it's just second nature. And not only that, you learn the skill that you can use in any painting. Right? You can do it in this painting, you can do it in any single painting, and all of a sudden your imagination start really kicking in and growing. And what is these roots just sort of come out here, and then maybe they're actually expanding here. You know, it's like those things. That's fascinating about roots. They just expand, right? And they sort of interconnect, sort of like the movie Avatar, right? They sort of to life, they interconnect. Now this waterflow needs a little bit of love. Look at that love right there. See that? That's a little bit of love. Let's keep going. I hope you're liking this painting. This painting is pretty sick. Now let's really focus on the tree, because that's really what's going to give it a lot more depth. So put the dark color first. Start putting that towards the edge. Like this. Isn't that pretty cool? Then put the yellows on the front. And you want to keep some of the light blue in the back because it gives you depth, right? It's not flat, it's a tree, it has volume, you know, some branches and leaves on the back, some in the foreground, So you have different shades, and there's breathing room. It's not like it's solid. So you want to see some of the background in between, so you don't pull all of it on it. That's part of the magic. And right now I'm using some oranges, some yellows, some reds, just to give it more of a dimension. And also some blues. Well, I mean, some nice dark blues at some points. You see here, I'm putting this here, and that gives it a little bit more of a depth to it. How many minutes do we have so far? Oh, look at that, 20 minutes. All right, so let's come and go to an end here. Let's finish it up. So I'm gonna just put a little bit more of the leaves here. Leaves here towards the top. And leaves here towards the bottom. Here we go. So this painting should be done in half an hour. It's a small painting. This canvas is not that big. I think it's 11 by 14 inches. And just think about this. This painting can be mimicked in a bigger scale, or any scale that you want. You just have to follow the same concept. The only difference is if you do it in a bigger scale, of course you will need more paint, but it also will require more detail, more branches, more leaves, more trees. It's just fun. I prefer to work on big canvases, but I think for this small videos, I think it's nice to do a smaller canvas, so you just learn the technique, and then you can start playing with what you really want to do, what canvas you want to use. Let me put some whites. I think the whites here are really important. Look at that. I love that. Look at that. The whites really gives this subtle depth to it. And you want small little lines, and thick lines, and small ones, and thick ones, and you want to have that transition, because you don't want everything to be the same. You want everything to have value, difference, right? That's it. Put a little more love in the mountain. The earth, let's put some love in the earth. Put some shadows there. Look, some shadows and some lights. You know, sort of. Let's put some little colors in there, because I think that will give you more variation of what this is. There we go. And let's put a little bit of the water going into it. Put some darker colors to give you the sensation of some land. And all these dark colors that I'm putting, the black, blue, and a little bit of black, starting to give you a sense of clouds moving. See, that's one thing that you gotta realize, that the Earth is moving all the time. So if it's moving all the time, it's not like you cannot paint it such a steady thing. You gotta paint it like following the curve, right? So it just doesn't make sense to put an Earth that's not moving fast. Put some stars here. So these sort of stars are the seeds are turning into stars. I think that's a pretty cool idea, right? So these things is giving birth to all these stars, these sort of roots, You can see that there. And it's just percolating throughout. Look at that. I'm gonna do the same thing here. And I think that's a good one, except for there's a couple things here that I want to add more. I think the clouds need a little bit more of a love. Right, you wanna give a little more love to the life. Here we go. That's baby. See, a little more love there. Oh, so you wanna have these sort of clouds turn into, why not, the stars also. I mean, it's your world. It's your magic. You know. You are king of your castle here. Right? Nobody can tell you what to do. You are free to create your world. And create the light that you want to create. Things that you want to do. Right? Well, I hope you enjoyed this beautiful painting. And I hope to see you in my next video. Subscribe if you like this. All right? We'll do more videos like this. Thanks. Let me actually give you a better closer look of how it looks. Look at that.